The story begins with a completely destroyed city. A young girl complains that she's tired and asks Jung Min-jun how much farther they have to walk. Still complaining, she says she's thirsty, but the boy simply ignores her. The young man responds seriously that he's already told her several times they need to ration their water, and that if she's really that thirsty, she should go find water on her own. The girl is stunned by what he says. Upon hearing that, she gets angry and asks if the MC has lost his mind. Serious, Min-jun asks if she still hasn't understood the situation they're in and reminds her he's not her servant. For a moment, the girl is speechless, but she quickly yells that he's a loser and getting way too bold. She continues, saying the MC is nothing but a broke loser. Min-jun remains neutral and says that money doesn't matter in this world, so now she's just as much a loser as he is, and yet all she knows how to do is scream, making her just as useless as him right now. That makes him tell her to get lost, but the girl is confused by what he said. As she watches him walk away, Han Yina wonders why he's acting like that, and that it's the first time she's ever seen him this way. Even so, her pride takes over, and with a laugh she tells him to get lost. Mocking him, she says it's unbelievable and asks if he's really walking away without looking back, calling him a loser and saying he might as well disappear. She gets angry, saying she should have slapped the back of his head before they split up, and starts cursing him. Han Yina says it's unbelievable and asks who he thinks he is, but adds it doesn't matter since he's pathetic and will probably end up dead. The young girl stops walking, curious about what she sees ahead. The street is filled with rubble, crushed cars, and a sign warning not to enter. She asks if the way is blocked. Then she looks to the right, curious about something she just noticed. Han Yina looks at one of the windows of a nearby apartment. She grows tense, asking what that was, and if someone is there, she feels like she's being watched. The girl looks at the blocked path again and says there's a strange smell there. Han Yina peers further into the barricade, past the debris. She tenses up, clearly scared. She spots one body walking and another lying on the ground. Han Yina starts sweating cold. It's as if she can see two zombies approaching, catching her by surprise. This gives her a terrible feeling about what's coming. Our hero continues walking alone, until someone calls out to go together. That makes Jung Min-jun turn around, confused by what's happening, while Han Yina asks him to take her with him. He asks if she's still ordering him around and reminds her she told him to get lost. She says she takes back everything she said and asks if they don't need each other, at least until they reach Gangnam. Our hero watches her in silence for a few seconds. Then he says that first, she needs to apologize for what she did. The girl looks confused by that. Jung Min-jun asks if she didn't call him a nobody and a loser, and says that if she wants to survive, then she also needs to be a nobody and stay hidden. Our hero tells her to do all that, and then he'll let her come along. The girl still doesn't say anything, but she starts trembling and crying. Jung Min-jun knows that she, Han Yina, is a rich girl who always had everything, someone who's never apologized to anyone in her life, and that he, a lonely weirdo whose life was rock bottom, ended up in this mess after a strange virus struck Earth. Just like in the movies, Seoul is experiencing a strange zombie apocalypse, and the two of them, with completely clashing personalities, got caught in it together, in a chaos where any disaster is imaginable. Suddenly, both of them look behind Han Yina, startled. Three zombies run toward the pair. Jung Min-jun grabs the young girl's wrist and starts running while pulling her along, knowing this is just a terrible nightmare, but they must somehow survive. In a city, there are several buildings close to each other. In one of them, sunlight shines into a room through 4 small windows. A game is playing on the screen of a computer sitting on a messy desk with food on it. The place is a bit small, yet a young man is sleeping in his bed. At that moment, his phone alarm goes off. It wakes the young man, who realizes he passed out again while gaming. He sits up in bed, grabs his phone, and notices it's time to go to school again, but he wishes he could just quit. The boy leaves his room and notices something on the fridge. A note from his mother says she went to work and tells him to eat well and go to school. Our hero looks at the note silently, but soon he's out of the house already dressed for school. Jung Min-jun looks up at a tall building, taller than the others in the area. He knows the kids living there can't imagine a life like his. Our hero keeps walking down the narrow streets, until he finally arrives at his school. But in the hallways of the institution, Jung Min-jun curses after being shoved to the ground by someone. A boy sarcastically asks if he's okay and says he meant to go easy on him, while another jokes about whether he might have gotten seriously hurt, but says our hero can take it. The aggressive teen asks what Jung Min-jun just said, if he was swearing, and if he heard that right. Park Seong-bin says our hero is trash and asks if it's because lately he's been letting things slide, adding that it seems like he's forgetting who he is. Someone appears and complains that the hallway is always too noisy, which surprises him. Han Yina asks if he's a child and tells Park Seong-bin to stop doing that kind of thing to losers. He says he didn't realize she was there. She says that losers and weirdos like him who bully kids are disgusting, and tells him to stop polluting the school's atmosphere with his violence. Park Sin-ongbin asks what she's talking about, saying they were just playing with their class mascot. She tells them if they want to play, do it outside because they're in the way. The boy says she's the one Jung Min-jun hates the most. She replies that unlike him, she simply ignores him completely, but the boy says that's the same thing. Our hero knows Han Yina is just like Park Sin-ongbin, someone in his class whom he's known since middle school. Park Sin-ongbin says he's going to hang out with the older guys and asks if she wants to come. She says she'll never again go to that cramped dump that used to be our hero's apartment. Jung Min-jun knows Han Yina lives in a luxury apartment complex visible from his house. Her parents work at a hospital, and one of them is the director. She's active on social media, the center of attention, a VIP among VIPs. On top of that, Han Yina has the best grades, and people are even saying she's preparing to study abroad next year in the United States. She seems like the perfect person with no flaws, but the one issue is that she completely despises poor losers like him. The girl notices him and, disgusted, asks our hero what he's staring at. This makes another girl laugh. Jung Min-jun wonders when it all began. In their second year of middle school, they were in the same class, and he worked up the courage to talk to her. That day, our hero nervously asked if she lived in that direction too. Han Yina responded in a way that caught him completely off guard. She told him he stinks and to stop following her, and that if they live in the same direction, then he should keep his distance or take another route. It was that day Jung Min-jun finally understood that she despised him, especially when Yina said she really didn't want to talk to people like him. Our hero realizes he smells like poverty, and that she always smelled nice, which makes him wonder if that's what rich people smell like. Normally, if someone hated him that much, he wouldn't feel so hurt. But in the classroom, Yina complains about having to sit near him even at school and asks if someone wants to switch seats. And in every class, she constantly ridicules and belittles him, yet strangely, he can't understand his feelings for her. This makes him wonder if he's still in love with Han Yina, and if this is what it means to be a loser. He knows that having feelings for a girl who always mocked him and treated him like trash is truly pathetic, but now, being physically run over by Park Sin-ongbin and emotionally crushed by Han Yina makes every miserable day up to now stack on top of each other. This made our hero start feeling ashamed and humiliated by his own life. At school, but outside the building, three boys are chatting. The chubby one asks if his friend knows about the second semester list. The other says he decided to quit anime and wanted to go to the Rage D event, and that if it weren't for school, he would have gone to the event that morning. His friend questions why they'd even hold an offline event for a game on a weekday. The chubby one says he's not interested in game events and would rather go to the Lumina concert. Oh Byung-jun asks if he bought tickets for the concert this month. Our hero knows those two, Sunho and Byung-jun, are from different classes than his, but they're the only friends he has, and they were lucky not to be dragged into all of this. One of them asks if Jung Min-jun wants to go to the concert too, but Min-jun keeps thinking how lucky they are, guys who were just born lucky, and how he seems to be the only one with a truly cursed life. Meanwhile, the boy keeps calling his name. Oh Byung-jun shouts, grabbing our hero's attention and startling him. He asks if Min-jun wants to go to the concert too, since they're going to try and get tickets to go see Stan Jin-nim, a beautiful idol. Our hero chuckles a little and tells him to forget it. From now on, he doesn't care about idols anymore. The chubby one says that's a lie and asks how he dares to abandon her, saying he's gone mad. But Min-jun says he's leaving. Oh Byung-jun is surprised and says our hero was excited about the idol until recently, and asks if today he doesn't seem more lethargic than usual. Sunho gets curious. He asks if it's because he got rejected. Byung-jun asks if that's really enough to make him depressed, and if such a loser even exists. The two joking about the idol. In second year classroom 3, our hero is sitting in the classroom, wishing for the classes to end quickly, while a group talks about a defector who stared him down again. Another boy asks if it was Kang Hakyul. Our hero grows curious about that. Seongbin says the guy is smaller than him and asks if he wouldn't beat him up. One of the boys says he does MMA and would obviously win. Park says the guy fled from North Korea. Another boy heard he was still a child, but must have escaped after some trouble, and the third one tells them to stop. The trio notices a young man entering the classroom. Kang Hakyul questions Seongbin about what he just said. Park stares at him and, after insulting him, asks if he's got a problem. The North Korean tells him to watch his mouth, but Seongbin grabs the guy by the collar while cursing at him. Even while being grabbed, the boy doesn't move, and he looks straight at his opponent without showing a hint of fear in his eyes. Park Seongbin's friends try to break up the fight, telling him to calm down and apologizing to Kang Hakyul. But the young man whispers in the North Korean's ear that if he doesn't want to lose his life after coming to South Korea, he'd better lower his head. After that, the trio backs off and leaves the classroom. Our hero watches all of this and feels tense about what just happened. To him, this is a terrible class and a terrible school. After school ends, our hero walks through the streets, determined that tomorrow he's going to quit that horrible school, and that this will be the shortcut for finally changing his life. He's firm in the decision he made, and the next day he doesn't go to school. At that moment, someone calls out to him, catching him off guard. He looks and sees it's the trio of bullies from school hanging around. Park Seong-bin says the timing is perfect, that he's in need of cigarettes, and asks our hero to help him out. He says Jung Min-jun just needs to ask the grandma over there so he can buy them from the convenience store. Our hero gets irritated and curses him in his thoughts, especially since he's about to quit school, and that he's never going to see that guy again. He decides that just once, he should tell him off properly. But Jung Min-jun only imagines it and fails to act. Park Seong-bin finds it odd and tells him to get back there right now, asking if he's ignoring him. One of his friends laughs and asks if our hero's gone insane and if he's really just ignoring him, while another calls him crazy, which makes the bully angry. At a construction site in the city, our hero lies on the ground, injured, while Park Seong-bin complains and asks why he's disobeying him today. With a brick in his hand, the young man calls our hero a poor beggar and asks if he should just take his life right then and there. He says Jung Min-jun got too comfortable because he hadn't been beaten since 9th grade. The guy's two friends say they don't know anything and that they tried to stop him. Our hero asks them to take his life, and that leaves Park Seong-bin confused. Jung Min-jun repeats that they should just kill him because he doesn't want to live anymore. One of the boys says he's starting to feel bad for our hero now and suggests they leave. Park Seong-bin gets pissed and curses Jung Min-jun while kicking him hard, then warns him to listen carefully, because if Jung Min-jun writes his name in a goodbye note, he'd better be ready for the consequences. The guy threatens that after Jung Min-jun is gone, he'll find his lonely mother and end her life too. That makes Park Seong-bin's friends ask if that wasn't going too far, but he tells both of them to shut up and leave the place. Our hero remains on the ground, injured, at the construction site. Some time later in the poorest part of the city, Jung Min-jun, head low, slowly walks up a staircase between the apartments on the street. At that moment, he wishes the world would just end tomorrow. Slowly, our hero keeps moving forward, until he stops, looks up, and wonders if maybe it would be better to just die. Jung Min-jun stares at the large and luxurious apartment complex and questions whether if he jumped from that tall place, everything would just end. Our hero changes direction and begins approaching the luxury apartments, thinking that nothing matters anymore and there's no reason for him to keep living this miserable life. Just then, someone calls out to Jung Min-jun. He turns and sees Han Yina, who asks what he's doing there. She asks if his house isn't over there, what he's doing in their apartment complex, and if he snuck in. Han Yina says he doesn't look like he came to deliver anything and asks if he's there to steal something. That makes our hero realize she's right. Someone like him shouldn't go to a place where rich people like her live, and he wonders if he should just tell her why he's there. The girl asks what's up with his face, and asks if someone beat him up, but Jung Min-jun says nothing. Han Yina says he's frustrating, and that if they did that to him, he should have fought back, and if he suffered so much, at least he should have hit back even if it meant getting beat up again. She says seeing young people like him act so pathetic, he's not good at anything, and asks if he should at least have the guts to fight, and if living like that isn't just miserable. That makes our hero start walking away, leaving the girl confused, asking if he's really just going like that. Ignoring her completely, she calls out to him again and asks if he's being serious, right when someone's talking to him. Han Yina sighs and says Jung Min-jun is truly pathetic and pathetically weak. Our hero decides that tomorrow he needs to tell Park Seong-bin exactly what he thinks. After some time walking the streets of the poor neighborhood, Jung Min-jun finally arrives home and enters his room. He turns on his computer and decides he's just going to game for the rest of the day. Jung Min-jun finds it ridiculous that he gave up on dying just because of Han Yina, but he believes what she said was true. Still, in the end, our hero lets it go since he's decided to quit school and from now on probably won't need to see Park Seong-bin or Han Yina ever again. Jung Min-jun decides that starting tomorrow, he'll need to help his mother with work. His friends see him online and invite him to play, and he replies that he just logged in. The hours pass quickly while our hero enjoys himself on the computer. Night falls and the lights in his room are on. Outside, someone yawns and another person seems surprised. Jung Min-jun keeps playing at a fast pace. He tells his friends there are still 3 zombies up ahead and that he's already taken care of them. At that moment, one of his friends says he has to leave because something came up, but our hero asks if it's not too early and tells him to at least finish the current round. However, another friend also says he has to go, which surprises him and makes him ask why Byung-jin too. Jung Min-jun looks at the wall clock to check the time, and upon seeing that it's 10 at night, realizes it's already late. One of the guys asks if they saw the news just now, saying it's total chaos. Our hero asks what he's talking about. A loud noise occurs, catching Jung Min-jun's attention. He takes off his headphones and asks, confused, what that was. Our hero steps out of his room and looks down the hallway of the small apartment. He approaches the door, trying to understand what's going on, and asks if someone is on the other side. Someone seems to be knocking or forcing the door. Jung Min-jun is confused and wonders what that was, thinking it sounded creepy. He looks through the peephole to check outside. A man appears dizzy and asks for help. Our hero knows that's the neighbor from the floor above, who keeps asking, in a slow and strange voice, for him to open the door. Jung Min-jun finds it odd and wonders if another package was delivered upstairs by mistake. But without him knowing, the outside is strange and the staircase is dark and dirty, showing the trail the neighbor took, still injured. Our hero gets tense and thinks the man must have been drinking again. Jung Min-jun puts his hand on the door handle and slowly opens it to greet the neighbor. Our hero looks at the man, still tense with the situation. He notices something that leaves him shocked and confused. The man is injured in the torso and stained with blood from his wounds, stumbling around. Jung Min-jun sees the neighbor's terrible wound. With a trembling voice, he asks if the man is okay and if he should call an ambulance. But at that moment, the man lets out a growl-like scream of rage, surprising our hero, and suddenly lunges forward in an attack on Jung Min-jun. The man's eyes are red, and he desperately tries to bite our hero, who manages to hold him back with his arm, pushing him by the jaw. Jung Min-jun tries calling to the neighbor, hoping he'll snap out of it, asking why he's acting like this out of nowhere. Without getting a response, our hero curses, unable to believe what's happening. And without thinking twice, he delivers a strong kick to the man's stomach, pushing him back quickly. But that not only knocks him away, it also brings him down to the ground. Quickly, our hero shuts the door again. The man keeps screaming outside while Jung Min-jun tries to catch his breath and process what just happened. His legs won't stop trembling from the shock. He asks what the hell just happened and says that man's face looked completely wrong. Jung Min-jun quickly rushes to his room and grabs his phone, deciding he has to call the police and report what happened. He dials, but something feels off, and he's confused by it. Our hero finds that the line is dead and doesn't understand why this is happening. On his phone, there are multiple alerts about strange people attacking others, which shocks him. He hears noises coming from the street and looks through the small apartment window. When he looks outside to see what's going on, a woman screams in fear. People are being brutally attacked by others who are visibly injured. Someone screams for help while being chased. Min-jun wonders what's happening. He spots the upstairs neighbor outside chasing a girl. Our hero quickly closes the window and, in desperation, wonders if his mother is okay. He tries calling her, knowing that around this time she'd usually be on her way home. Jung Min-jun mentally begs for her to answer, but the call doesn't go through, which makes him tense and worried, realizing her phone might also be out of service. Worried, our hero, who had his lights on earlier, quickly turns them off and hides under the sheets and behind his closed bedroom door. Jung Min-jun trembles in fear over what's happening outside. He looks at his phone again, still shaking, seeing on the screen that the internet and everything else has been down for a while. Jung Min-jun picks up the TV remote. He turns on the television but keeps the volume low so no one can hear from outside. The anchor says, "Urgent, there are reports of mass murders happening across the country. The government believes it's a terrorist attack and is investigating the cause, but nothing is confirmed yet. I repeat, the situation is extremely serious," says the anchor. Jung Min-jun is shocked and wonders if this is really happening and what exactly is going on. The anchor advises people to stay home, lock doors and windows, and minimize contact. The anchor then shows a recent attack happening right now in the Busan area, where a man is being assaulted by another in the middle of a crowd. Our hero is stunned to see that the attack is being carried out through brutal bites. The reporter says these attacks are also happening in the countryside and that the police and military are working, but Min-jun knows this isn't some act of terrorism or rebellion. In disbelief, he hopes and pleads for it not to be a zombie apocalypse or something similar. Our hero wonders if he's dreaming. How did things spiral out of control so fast across the country in a single day? Why is this happening and what caused it? He realizes he can't just sit there and remembers it seems the neighbor from the floor above left recently. Jung Min-jun looks through the peephole to see if anyone is on the stairs or in the building and decides he should first lock the entrance. Seeing that everything is quiet and empty outside the door, he's certain he's alone there. Our hero opens his door again and looks out at the dark, grimy stairwell. He climbs the stairs, eyeing the next flight nervously, wondering if someone else might be hiding on them. Upon reaching the building's main entrance, Jung Min-jun opens the door slowly. He spots a zombie wandering nearby and thinks he must move slowly and carefully. The monster turns around as if it sensed something, but seeing nothing there, it continues walking in another direction. Our hero slowly locks the double doors from the inside. Then he lets out a sigh of relief for not being seen or attracting that zombie. Only then does he wonder if the people upstairs are okay, and notes how eerily quiet everything is. But Jung Min-jun decides to return home and wait until morning, thinking the police or someone will come to rescue them. Our hero continues watching the news in his dark room to stay updated on the events. The anchor says, "Once again, we bring you another terrible update, the current situation." But before he can continue, the TV news cuts off and the screen goes blank, leaving our hero stunned. The surprise turns to tension when he realizes that even the broadcast signal has now disappeared. The only light in the room is coming from the television set. Jung Min-jun lies in bed, wrapped in sheets, trying to sleep. But he can't fall asleep, and more than that, he feels a deep internal conflict. Knowing that just yesterday he was about to end his own life because he felt he was living in hell, he even wished for the end of the world, and now it's actually happening. And here he is, desperately trying to survive. Yet, truthfully, not much has changed. His life was hell before, and it still is now. The night passes in the city, and the sun begins to rise, lighting up the dark streets now in chaos. In the street, an ambulance is flipped over and a small truck lies abandoned. A few zombies wander back and forth, and there are 2 bodies on the ground. The door to our hero's building opens slowly. Afraid, he looks outside and sees that hellish scene. Zombies walking the streets, while people lie lifeless on the ground. Jung Min-jun feels like the air outside is dangerous, polluted with the stench of the dead, clinging to the hands and teeth of the zombies, and he can sense it just from the atmosphere. That makes Jung Min-jun shut the doors of the building once again. He locks them from the inside slowly to avoid making noise, knowing that going outside now would be an incredibly stupid move. With everything off, the hallway door leading to Jung Min-jun's apartment now looks like the entrance to an abandoned, eerie place, but without the marks from the first zombie. He calmly checks the food supplies in his home, seeing packages of instant noodles. There's ramen, noodle cups, and enough instant rice for 2 weeks. There are 3 bottles of water. He decides to collect as much water as possible from the taps, and the gas is still working. And if he's relying only on the emergency food, Min-jun believes he could survive there for about a month, and by then someone will probably rescue him. Our hero hopes his mother is safe and complains that he can't contact the police or anyone since the phone lines have stopped working. He looks up, remembering there are 5 apartments there, minus the vacant one, and that the neighbor was a zombie. He wonders how the elderly couple and the young lady living there are doing. At that moment, Jung Min-jun remembers there's a guy from school who lives in the rooftop room. Our hero wonders if he's still there, recalling how he always brings his girlfriend over every Tuesday. Jung Min-jun knows that yesterday was Tuesday and thinks maybe the guy is still up on the rooftop. Slowly, our hero climbs the building's inner staircase. He doesn't feel any movement coming from the other floors, so he peeks through the peephole of one of the apartments, knowing his last hope would be the guy who lives on the rooftop. Jung Min-jun looks upward and wonders if he also turned into one of those things, like that other guy. He keeps going up the stairs and is surprised by what he sees ahead. Our hero notices the rooftop door is open and wonders if it had been like that this whole time. Jung Min-jun passes through the door, seeing the place apparently empty and brightly lit by the sun. He considers calling out to the guide, but fearing the worst, decides it's better not to. Our hero notices the apartment door is open, held ajar by some slippers, and gets curious, wondering if they were left that way too. Cautiously, he looks into the dark interior. He can see the room a bit messy and showing signs of a struggle. That makes Jung Min-jun think there's no one there. However, something inside catches his attention. He notices the stains on the floor indicating someone was hurt. The second day of the disaster was the day everything changed drastically in his life. Right then, from the bathroom, the young man, now a zombie, moves, leaving his girlfriend's body on the floor. Seeing the red stains on the ground, Jung Min-jun wonders if they came from inside. He can hear someone in the apartment. Trembling, our hero believes he's screwed. He turns and begins to quietly back out of the place, knowing he needs to get away slowly. But his elbow hits a flower pot beside him, which falls and crashes to the ground, making a loud noise in what had been total silence. That scares Jung Min-jun, who screams, asking what that was. The zombie inside growls, terrifying our hero. In panic, he starts running to escape, but Jung Min-jun trips over his own leg and crashes to the floor, wincing in pain from the fall. As he gets up, our hero freezes at the sight of the zombie, filthy with the girl's blood, coming out through the door. Already on his feet, Jung Min-jun finds himself being charged by the undead creature running at him. Reacting instinctively, our hero ducks to dodge the attack. The zombie slams into the rooftop railing. At that moment, Jung Min-jun stands up, still tense, and throws the undead off the building. The creature begins falling after being, accidentally, pushed from the rooftop. Our hero is stunned by what just happened, and what he just did, until the sound of the zombie's body hitting the ground echoes through the area. Jung Min-jun collapses to the floor in shock, saying the monster fell from up there. In a rush, he quickly closes the rooftop door. Panting, our hero hurries back down the building's staircase. He quickly enters his own room, and drops to the floor of the safe space, trying to catch his breath. Even as he tries to breathe and calm down, Jung Min-jun is trembling in fear over what just happened. He wonders if the guy who lived on the rooftop is dead now. Our hero is terrified, thinking he may have executed a person and questions whether he just ended that boy's life. But still in shock, he tells himself that's not what happened, and it wasn't his fault, since the guy attacked him first. The hours pass slowly, and the once bright room is now dark. Morning begins to fade into afternoon. Jung Min-jun sits in silence, deep in thought, inside his room near the door. And that day, he spent the entire time haunted by guilt. Our hero wonders if he really threw that guy off the rooftop to his end. After thinking about it a lot, Jung Min-jun gets up. He slowly opens the building's double doors and looks out to the street where he sees the boy, now a zombie, walking slowly. His whole body broken and deformed from the fall. It continues to move. Suddenly, the zombie turns to look at our hero, who stares directly at it without speaking or reacting. Shocked by the fact that the monster is still standing, our hero can only watch as the guy from the rooftop stands upright and the zombie growls and starts approaching Jung Min-jun, who, at that moment, understands that those things are no longer human. Our hero apologizes to the guy as he retreats back into the building. Realizing they really are like zombies, the creature keeps growling as the double doors are shut. The zombie approaches the doors, still growling, and from that day on, strangely, Jung Min-jun began to lose his fear of the infected. The next day, the third day since the disaster began, our hero finishes eating his morning meal. He knows he can still enjoy these things while the gas is running, and he wonders when it will be cut off. Jung Min-jun questions whether it's really okay to just stay there waiting for someone to rescue him, knowing he'll eventually run out of food. He notices that no one decides that one young man has shown up, which makes him think there may not be any more infected. He wonders if he should go back up there to try asking for help. Our hero spends some time deep in thought, and decides that tomorrow he'll have to go up there himself to check. Maybe this calm is because he already decided to die a few days ago. Jung Min-jun remembers his 2 encounters with the zombies and thinks it might be because of what he went through yesterday and the day before, but he really doesn't know why. He doesn't find those zombies frightening anymore. His thoughts are interrupted by a buzzing sound. His cell phone starts ringing again, and the screen shows that it's his mom calling. He's surprised and asks if it's really her. Jung Min-jun quickly answers the call and, worried, asks if it's his mom. She asks if he's okay and where he is. Our hero says he's hiding at home now and asks where she is. His mom says she met up with the military during the evacuation and is safe in Seoul now. She says she'll try to send a rescue team to him no matter what happens, and that right now Seoul is, but before she can finish, the signal gets bad. The interference only lets her say something about the neighborhood, but in the end, the call drops and Jung Min-jun yells, calling out to her. He realizes the call got cut again and curses about it, but feels relieved to know his mother is safe and alive somewhere. The phone vibrates again, and our hero wonders why he's suddenly receiving all these messages. He sees that his 2 friends, Sunho and Byongjin, are safe too, and notices that one of them is making jokes even in the middle of all the chaos, but both are clearly worried about him. Jung Min-jun knows the 2 of them live very close to each other and probably can help one another, and that in this situation only those 2 and his mother have contacted him. This makes him fall into thought again for a while, until he remembers Han Yina. Our hero knows that, out of everyone, she's the one who lives closest to him, and you remember she was there last year. A guy says she saw him on social media and asked to meet him. Another asks if that's true. Everyone laughs, doubting she'll show up since she's so picky and arrogant. Songbin says he gave her the address and told her to come straight there. One of the guys says that if she shows up, it's because she likes him, and another gets excited talking about her pretty pictures. Park tells Changmin that if she shows up, this is his big chance, and asks if he's going to try. The guy asks if he's trying to sell her off and says he doesn't believe she'll fall for that. He says if he flirts with Han Yina and his girlfriend finds out, he's screwed, but Seongbin replies that it's not his problem. However, he then notices that the girl responded. She said she just arrived there. Changmin is in disbelief and asks if she really did arrive, and one guy says he's going to open the door, which surprises our hero. The girl appears at the doorway of Jung Min-jun's room. She looks around in disbelief at the mess and smoke in the room full of boys. Park Seongbin tells her to come in and asks if our hero's room isn't a cool place. Laughing, he introduces Changmin, saying that he's the guy he told her about, and asks if they weren't already chatting on social media. Han Yina says she's leaving. Seongbin doesn't understand and asks where she's going after just getting there. Our hero is in disbelief. Not only were the boys crashing in to party, she keeps complaining non-stop that the place is disgusting and asks why no one mentioned it was Min-jun's house, saying it's irritating. That reaction from her made him feel even more miserable. He remembers all of that while using the bathroom and still wonders if she's okay. And if the symptoms are caused by a virus like the zombies, then her father must know a solution. Yet he questions why he's even worrying about her now. Since her family is rich, she was probably already evacuated to a safe place. At that moment, someone calls out to Jung Min-jun, and it surprises him. Our hero looks at the bathroom door, not understanding what's going on, and surprised, he wonders if someone just called him from outside or if it was just his imagination. The person, sounding scared, asks if he's in there, and if he is, pleads with him to open the door, clearly urgent. This leaves Jung Min-jun stunned upon hearing that voice. Still in shock, he asks if it's Han Yin out there. The girl's voice comes from outside the window, asking if our hero is inside. She keeps asking if he's in there and says she thinks she just heard his voice. At that moment, the girl hears a growl and turns around, frightened, to see what it is. A zombie starts running toward her, while others slowly approach to catch up. They begin closing in, some quickly, others slowly. Han Yina starts pounding on Jung Min-jun's window, calling out to him in fear and urgency. She screams for him to open the door, saying that if he's in there, he needs to say something. At that moment, our hero opens the building's door, and upon seeing her there, he shouts for her to get inside right now. After Han Yina enters, Jung Min-jun locks the double doors. The zombies hurl themselves at the building door, while others continue to approach. The girl is out of breath after running and getting that scare. She sits on the floor of our hero's room, catching her breath. Jung Min-jun notices she's barefoot, and slowly approaches her, asking if she's okay and why she came all the way there. Han Yina grabs his shirt, catching him off guard, and slams him against the wall, knocking him to the floor, which startles him. But he notices the girl has started crying. Hearing her cry leaves our hero surprised, and he asks what happened to her.